A global sleep survey has found New Zealanders get the best sleep in the world, averaging 7.5 hours per night. So what are we doing differently? What are we doing so well? And what actually happens when you don't get enough sleep? Karyn O'Keeffe is a sleep-wake researcher at Massey University joining me this morning. Karyn, good morning.
Good morning.
How'd you sleep last night?
Bit short, to be honest.
Was it? Well, how long did you
To be
get?
honest.
How long is short?
For me, last night it was around about 6.5 hours.
Okay, and what's the difference if you get 6.5 hours versus 7.5, 8? How different does your day look, Karyn?
Quite different for some people. Our sleep need is somewhere in the ranges of 7 to 9 hours. So if we're getting less than that, quite often it means we have, immediate impacts on our ability to make decisions, process information, keep safe on the roads, and our mood changes quite a lot often as well.
What about places like in Japan? They get, I'm told, on average, less than 6 hours sleep a night. Does that mean they're running around making terrible decisions all day, or what?
That's a good question. I think different groups around the world have different group averages. So the average in New Zealand is around about 7 hours of sleep, but some people get much less than that. Some people get much more. But sleep's not just about how much we get; it's also about quality and regularity. And New Zealanders tend to have maybe sort of slightly poorer quality sleep, and they also have sometimes big differences between weekday and weekend sleep.
So when you say poorer quality, do you mean we're sleeping for a long time, but it's not as good sleep? Why not?
Lots of reasons. So some people don't have the opportunity for good sleep. They might be working shift work, or they might have situations where their sleep environment is not ideal. Sometimes we have medical conditions and things like that that can impact on sleep. And sometimes just that day meant that the activities we carried out weren't conducive to sleep.
Right, like what activities aren't conducive to sleep?
Aren't or are. If we're looking at we're looking at things like natural light, so exposure to light across the day, good physical activity. Stress, of course, can impact negatively on sleep. So things like that. Also, sometimes what we've put in our bodies, caffeine and alcohol, and potentially food as well.
So the Dutch apparently are the second most rested, spending 7 hours and 24 minutes in bed on average. Do they have better quality than us as well?
I don't have that off the top of my head. I know that the best data we have recently is from sleep trackers, where they looked at sort of hundreds of thousands of people, and it showed that New Zealanders on average were closer to the 7 hours, and our sleep efficiency, which is how much we're sleeping when we're in bed, was around about 85%. So not too bad on the averages, but we know that some people are not sleeping as well. So there's a group of people out there who really struggle every day.
Karyn, for shift workers, for people who are doing odd hours, there's a lot of people in this building who wake up at 1/2 a sparrow's fart. My first alarm goes at 2:55. Will we die sooner?
No, I think that there's certainly a higher chance that you might develop some health conditions. So there are things to watch out for, like diabetes and heart disease, but it's not a given. And I think supporting our sleep is a really good way to help protect against some of those health conditions. So putting it up the priority list and doing the best that you can to get good sleep.
Thanks very much for your time this morning, Karyn. Karyn O'Keeffe, a sleep-wake researcher at Massey University.